I arrived to Isfahan, I thought, oh wow, this looks so clean and tidy and the landscape is very green. It could be any country in Europe like Spain or Italy. Later that day, I made my way to the Kaju Bridge. With its illumination, it attracts many people during the evening. Besides functioning as a bridge and a weir, it also functions as a building and a place for public meetings. Despite the low temperatures of 5 degrees Celsius, I saw a lot of Iranian people having a picnic there. The next day, we were guided by Fatima, a girl that was working at a hostel. Again, I was impressed with the details and how much effort was put in the paintings and the walls. The moth with its illumination looked even better at night. We visited historical sites like the famous Jahan Square in the center of Isfahan. There were also 2 different mosques and a big bazaar. I was surprised how calm Iranian vendors act at the bazaar compared to other bazaars in Morocco, for example. There were many interesting things to discover like handmade lamps, radios, cutlery and more stuff from the last decades. Of course, there were also sweets, nuts and Marabou, the fake version of Haribo. Last but not least, there can't be a bazaar with it without a traditional carpet selling show.
Look at it, something such as this one, it is low quality. It seems so nice, but material of this has about 20% polyester and color of them is chemical. These are not washable. After 1 time, 2 times washing become like this. Look at it. What happened? After 2 times wash. But something such as this one, it is best quality. This is 100% natural, 100% cotton, it is good quality. How you can understand, if you touch the material, you can understand it is big woven, the dosar is finer because those has polyester. Also about the color, when you compare red between these 2, you can understand it is a difference. These are good for bed, for table, for put on the sofa, for covering the carpet, for wall hanging. The pattern also that uses from our monument. For example, this is the pattern of the walls of 40 Kalam Palace. Look at it. It is paisley pattern. One of the most typical pattern that we have it. For example, it is good for 6% tape.
The next day, we traveled to another city called Yazd. Yazd is considered one of the oldest cities in Iran. There we visited the Zoroastrian fire temple, a place of worship for Zoroastrians. The place is also known as Atash Beram, which stands for victorious fire. It's one of 9 Zoroastrian places in Iran where Zoroastrian people have practiced their religion. Now for sure you want to know the difference between Zoroastrianism and Islam, so here we go. Both religions believe that human souls after they die will pass through a bridge over hell. Both religions pray to certain direction. Zoroaster pray to fire, Islam to cover. Both originated from the Middle East. Zoroastrianism from Persia, Islam from Arabia. Zoroastrians believe in only one God, Ahura Mazda. Muslims believe in only one God, Allah. Zoroastrianism is confined to Iran and India. The Islam is spread all over the world. The sacred text of Zoroastrianism is Avesta. Quran is the sacred text of Islam. The fire you can see right now has been burning since the year 470 Anno Domini, but the place itself was built in 1934. After that, we went to the historical center of Yazd. Right next to the Amir Chakma complex, we found a place where we could see an ancient Iranian sport type called surkhaneh. It was originally used to train warriors in the old Persia. The training sessions consist mainly of ritual gymnastic movement with the core of combat practice. But check it out yourself, the big warm-up. The event took place in a dome below the air level. Luckily you can't smell the bad air in this video. There was no ventilation at all and it really smelled of men who haven't washed for days. I've been waiting until the end for more action, but anything else than you can see right now there wasn't. Anyways, it was fun. The next day we took a VIP bus to Shiraz. VIP bus in Iran means that you have a lot of leg space. Me as a 196 meter tall guy, I really appreciate those things. The landscape seemed to be from another planet. It was so dry there that I thought we landed on the moon, but it was just the highway to Shiraz. Once we arrived to Shiraz, it was easy to find an accommodation for 10 euros per night. The next day we checked out the colorful markets. Fruits, nuts, spices, candies, the usual stuff of a bazaar. I had a very nice impression of Shiraz from the very first moment. Actually, Shiraz was one of the places where most of the protests were going on. Do you remember what I mentioned in the last video? Just an hour ride from Shiraz there's an old ancient Greek city called Persepolis. UNESCO declared the ruins as a World Heritage Site. The next day we went there to visit that place.
Hello guys, what's up? I'm in Persepolis right now. This morning we took a taxi from Shiraz, which was like 1 hour to get here. And yeah, this is the ancient site of Persepolis, which was built around the year 500 before Christ, so it's very old. And it's so impressive with all those details. And yeah, I recommend you, if you come here, you should get an audio guide to learn something about the history. If not, you won't understand anything for sure. And you have got also the possibility to rent a guide, of course, which is more expensive. So yeah, I'm carrying on.
And that was the truth. Without the audio guide, I would have gone without understanding anything about the ruins, so let me give you a short review of Persepolis. By the way, if you didn't know, Persia nowadays is called Iran. Persia became Iran in 1935, however the Iranian government requested that all countries with which it had diplomatic relations call the country by its Persian name Iran. It thought that it was the Iranian ambassador to Germany who suggested this change. The city's remote location kept it a secret from the outside world and it became the safest city in the Persian Empire for storing art, artifacts, archives and keeping the royal treasury. The Greeks had no idea the city existed until it was sacked and plundered by Alexander the Great. The Persian Empire entered a period of decline after a failed invasion of Greece in 480 before Christ. The high cost of defense of Persia's lands depleted the empire's funds, leading to heavier taxation among Persia's subjects. So why Iran is no longer called Persia? The Iranians always called their country Iran. The literal meaning is the land of the Aryans. Persia was the name that the Greeks gave to the country during the Achaemenid Empire, but the name Persis or Persia is not accurate because Persia is just one province of Iran among many. That's it from Persepolis, but there were more places to discover next to Shiraz. Our host recommended a visit in a village called Galat, and that's what we did the next day. When I arrived there, I had the feeling again to be in Europe. With all the leaves on the ground, it could have been any autumn day in Germany, but it was in Iran, and it was the 29th of November 2019. We also discovered an abandoned Christian church. Iran had and has a minority of Christian people in the country. We also encountered a group of dancing people in the forest. How happy and welcoming they were. But then it was time to leave Shiraz. I had to carry on. So guys, I hope you liked this video in a different style. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon.